going on, everybody? Michael Levan here. Thank you for joining me, and I'm pretty excited. I just got the invite for the beta for Visual Studio Codespaces within GitHub, and we can actually see the little Codespaces icon here. So if you're not familiar with Codespaces, essentially what it is it's a way to use Visual Studio Code in a browser online, so you don't have to worry about installing extensions locally. You don't have to worry about installing Visual Studio Code locally. If you have certain setups and settings and configurations in your VS Code, you don't have to worry about if you have a few different machines. Like I have my desktop, I have my MacBook Pro, I have my Surface Book 3. If I get a new machine, if I'm doing something for work, like I don't have to worry about moving all those configurations all over the place. So this is awesome. And Visual Studio Codespaces is really cool in general. And now they're implementing it in GitHub. So I'm going to go to my profile here. And then once this loads, I'm going to go to my repositories. And then I'm going to click on my Go Web API. This is just a web API that I created in Golang. Now what I can do is typically when you click here, you get like your repository, or not your repository, the URL that you can clone and you can download zip, you can open with GitHub Desktop. But here now I can see that I have open with Codespaces. So I'm going to click this button, click New Codespaces here. And it is going to take a little while for it to actually prepare. It seems like it's been about a few minutes or so. No, I'm just pausing the video a little bit throughout, but if you saw just now, you could see that it actually initializes a Docker container. So this is purely running like inside of a Docker container. And as we can see, this is obviously really cool. I'm literally in Visual Studio Code in GitHub. So if I can click on this, for example, like I can see my code here, and let me just maximize this a little bit slightly. So we can see the code here, and we can actually, like, let's say you want to implement some sort of extension. You could, like Golang, for example. This requires a reload. So let's kind of see what that looks like. So it's just gonna go through just like if you install any extension, it just as you do that reload of Visual Studio. So we can see here the extensions that are installed, the GitHub theme, which that of course makes sense because it's running in GitHub. We have live share here, which is like pair programming if you want to use that. Visual Studio Codespaces, of course, because that's what we're in right now. But then we could even like install. So GitLens, I really enjoyed GitLens. We could use this, and then we can do a reload again here. And it's going to take a few seconds, but as we can see, we're now back and our code is here. And the really cool part about this is like, I'm just failed to find the Go binary, and this is just complaining because Go isn't installed, obviously, because we're in Visual Studio. Well, the extension's installed, but like Go, the program itself is not installed, the exe. So I can go here and I can do anything that I want to do in VS Code. So I can create a new file, open a new window, open different types of folders. Now, obviously, I am opening Codespaces from a repository. So you're only going to see the folders or the directories inside of a repository. And then you can, go through and open that up if you wanted to. So I'm literally just going in and reopening what I already had open. And here's my code again. I can actually go to the download page. So if I click on this, for example, and click open, and then I can install the Go binary. Now, obviously, I have Go installed like on my local host, but that message pops up to say, hey, you can install it. So I'm assuming maybe they're going to put those runtimes in. Again, this is like, I'm in a private beta right now. So, like you have to sign up for it and then see if you get selected to go into it. So hopefully they'll be fixing that. And then we can see, all of our different extensions here. We can see GitLens. GitLens is really cool. It shows you like file history, commits, repositories, different branches and stuff like that. Like I only have master here, but you can see that. And then let's say, I don't know what go home means. Oh, okay. So go home means actually just brings you back to GitHub. And then I'm assuming that's what this button does too. Yeah, so that's going to bring you back to GitHub. So then I'm in the Codespaces selection essentially for all of my repositories, and then it's just going to be this button up here. Now, if I go back to my repository, the Go Web API one, go back here, and then let's say I go to clone again, and I go to Codespaces, I can now see that I have that code space successfully created. So this is just like a really quick walkthrough, obviously because it's very new. I just got the email about it today that it was prepared and ready for me to jump into it. So this is obviously really really cool. I mean, it's you got to think about it for a second. It's you have GitHub Actions, so that's your CI/CD, that's your deployment tool. You have repositories, obviously, for your source controls, so you can store your code. Now you have a place to write the code. So it's kind of like GitHub is like that one-stop shop now for your development needs, essentially. If you're in the GitHub space, so this is really cool. I'm super excited that I was able to share this with you guys. It's obviously very interesting to me. I'm excited to play around with it a little bit more. So maybe I'll get a blog post out there or something. Well, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you again next time.